Secret friends, unite!
Welcome to the Secret Friends Unite podcast, episode 96. This is your guide to the world of nerd. I'm your host, Todd Oxtra, joined by Charlie Carden.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah, so we're back and bigger than ever. Well, I am. I'm trying to lose some weight. It's a new year. So
yeah, no kidding. Oh, it's painful.
We'll see how that goes. But we have made a resolution to do weekly podcasts. And
we are taking it back to plan.
Yeah, so there's going to be some ways that we get there. So you may have some shorter episodes, but I think that's good. It's a little more digestible than a 2-hour rant fest. So,
well, you know, and the thing is, if we record during the day, which is what we're doing today, no drinking of the alcohol, so that tends to cut down on the rambling and the cutting off and the
or the caffeine, which I'm drinking now, which may mean there's more excitement and a little bit erratic behavior.
Faster talking, more bathroom breaks.
That is true.
All right. Well, without further ado, Todd, what's happening? It seems like there's something we do at this point. What do we do?
Oh, yeah. So we are going to, in this episode, we're going to talk about the rumors and news of the week. Then we'll hit on the Geek Easy, and then we'll give out some Geek Love. But without further delay, Madam Web, take it away.
Now it's time for Madam Web's rumors and news. Take it away, boys.
Thank you, Madam Web. It is January, so it's cold once again. So bundle up, get an extra set of bloomers on, and make sure you don't lose any limbs like you did in the winter of 1923.
You know what? When she came out with fingers numbering 9.
Poor woman. And this week we kick off the news with a story from Dan Davis, a secret friend, and he's got a website called Supernova Games and Entertainment. He provided an article and his thoughts about Stranger Things Season 2, The Strangening. And, according to what we know so far, Charlie, they have already, in the trailer, they flashed for Season 2, names of episodes. And those are Mad Max, The Boy Who Came Back to Life, The Pumpkin Patch, The Palace, The Storm, The Pollywog, The Secret Cabin, The Brain, and The Lost Brother. So we know at Season 2, there is a dangling storyline at the end, as we know that you don't come back from the upside down the same. I guess that would be a good way to phrase it.
What did he have? Didn't he have a bug pop out of his nose or something come out of his mouth? I'm trying to remember.
It was like a slug that he kind of coughed up. So,
I hate that. You see, he's got to, you know what it is? He's got to quit smoking.
Yeah.
Kids, they get into that stuff younger. In the 80s, they were doing everything. It's probably a bad batch of blow. Who knows?
Yeah, so with Season 1, we know Season 2, actually, we know they started filming November 8th, 2016. So to understand when this would launch again, summer, you think? Because this is when Stranger Things came about, Season 1.
I would think, shows like this, they seem to have somewhat a seasonality. Even on Netflix. So yeah, that'd be my guess. And it would be in a kind of appropriate timing for us to get this kind of early news. Though Star Trek Discovery really pushed our limits as far as, are we getting any news, for God's sakes?
Yeah, so we also know potentially, well, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but they've already had some photos done photos were taken on the set, and number 11 is on the set. So I kind of, either it's a flashback, something else from her when she was basically trapped in the containment chamber and all that. Maybe they'll do a flashback, or maybe she's truly back and she wasn't destroyed, but basically transported into the dimension.
Always with the transformation. So I'm now realizing, boy, my memory's just getting older, getting worse and worse as I get older, but I think that this might bear a rewatch. But what's nice is that with the season, coming up again, once we have a date, I can kind of factor that into my binge television Netflix consumption, even with Iron Fist and with the Defenders coming up, which of course we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah, they're not saying how much time has passed between seasons, and I certainly hope they tie in the epic saga of Alf into Stranger Things.
It's inevitable. Alf plus Small Wonder.
That would just be fantastic. Alf, the pride of 80s television.
Yeah, Dudley from the bike shop maybe could stop by, or Joe from the Facts of Life. I don't know.
I mean, Alf added a new acronym. Like SCUBA, we get Alf, alien life form. So
right,
love when we get acronyms like that. It's fantastic. So that
acronyms
is
the way of life.
Yes. So season 2, very excited for this. This is probably one of my favorite Netflix shows. So Stranger Things. Hopefully it gets even stranger.
Stranger in a good way.
Yeah. Then on Entertainment Weekly gave us a big preview of Defenders on Netflix.
Yes. I got the magazine on Friday. I haven't cranked through the whole article yet because I guess I haven't spent that much time in the bathroom.
Toilet time.
Toilet time. The one thing that I don't know, you want to talk about nitpicky? They're bothering to put a photo on the cover, and it was just a really lousy Photoshop deal, didn't you think?
It looked a little odd, yeah.
Because I snapped a picture and I sent it to you and John, and I was like, none of the light sources match up. So it's like, why can't they just grab us a photo from the set or from, a screen grab or something? So I don't know. I'm nitpicking it to death. But we're getting this summer. And then one thing I was looking through the article because the fourth character is Iron Fist. So we have Jessica Jones, Matt Murdock as Daredevil, Luke Cage as Power Man, or just Luke Cage. And then Iron Fist, his traditional 1980s partner. His series drops on March 17, so about 2 months from now. So Todd, you're the one who's kind of neither here nor there about these Marvel Netflix series. You've liked pieces of them. You felt some ran too long. You thought others didn't need a season 2. What's your initial vibe?
Well, we know our villain's going to be Sigourney Weaver, right?
Right.
And I'll be interested to see the take they have on Iron Fist because it's probably the least grounded of the concepts of the characters. Mm-hmm. So, I hope that kind of changes up the makeup of the shows because the note of the shows we've gotten so far is dour, street level. Most of the threats, except for Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones, I think we got threats that were a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
They all had their own themes, so I'm not sure exactly how what Iron Fist is going to go for. But when you bring them all together, either you get a wonderful recipe that makes a fantastic dish, or you get Homer's car.
Oh, yeah, kind of or like a crock-pot nightmare, I was thinking.
Exactly. Yeah. You get jack of all trades, master of none, as they would say. Right. I certainly hope there is something significantly more of a threat than just, once again, thugs with guns.
Thugs with guns.
It's got to be more than that, right, Charlie? You don't bring these 4 people together, which, you've got 2 of the characters that are nigh and vulnerable. So,
Right.
But, you bring in a master of martial arts and a blind guy with with ESP, I guess you would say, whatever. Sonar.
Yeah, ESP sonar, yes. Who's to say? I mean, is she? I was just like I said, I was just kind of skimming through the article, and the danger is that they would be setting up Sigourney Weaver's villain to simply be another kingpin, but she's a woman. Because it's like ho hum, who cares?
Queen pin?
Yeah, queen pin. Thank you.
Too easy.
Because what's the point? What would be exciting about that? We've got Marvel properties, powered characters. Do we just need to drudge through another street level deal, or is it going to put an extra corner on it because you've got characters who are coming from different backgrounds? And is it going to be like the Avengers, or is it going to be we can't work together, but now we have a common enemy, so we got to work together? I don't know. One thing that I do know is, and Todd, this will be a particular delight to you, whether you finish the article or not, as I did not, is that we're only getting 8 episodes.
Okay.
So tighter story. I know that was one of your chief complaints about all of the Netflix series is that it just really dragged ass. And on a recent episode where Marley was on, he mentioned that Luke Cage was probably 4 to 6 episodes too long because you got this piece. Now you didn't. Did you finish Luke Cage?
Oh yeah, loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too. Definitely some filler elements to it. So I would like to think that if they're gonna ratchet this down and just have the 8 episodes, that it's gonna be tighter. Otherwise it's gonna be a really loose story if they drag it out for 8 episodes and they don't have a tight tail. So I don't know.
Now,
I don't know that this gave us a lot of information to know in one way or the other.
Does my memory fail me, or wasn't there one point they said the character was going to be? I thought they were going to say it was like Mephisto. Was it Mephisto or?
Yes.
So what if that is the tweak? Sigourney Weaver is just that's the physical human form.
Oh, there's no reason that they can't gender bend Mephisto. He's the devil.
Exactly. And just say, that's just her human form. And quite honestly, she is a dark demon or something like that. You bring in the other world, the Doctor Strange element, because Iron Fist is bringing in more of the mysticism.
Right.
So that would be kind of cool, kind of like a villain that has 2 sides, that we don't see. And so that could add a bigger threat that requires all 4 of them, because, I don't want Punisher 2.0 or the what is it, the Hand, which is the Ninja Clan, stuff like that. That just it doesn't get you in with Jessica Jones. The reason why her threat was a big deal because it was someone that took her power away because he basically was a threat to everyone but her.
Right.
And same thing with Luke Cage. He was nigh invulnerable, but he took on a family member that he was torn to take on. So yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, they and Jessica Jones had a villain that she was able to vanquish, where the others just didn't see. There was no that series of all of them to me seemed to have a definitive end of the season, where room for more story, but the story that we told here is done. Not with Daredevil, it seemed never ending, and Luke Cage, he got carted off. It didn't have a walk off into the sunset kind of ending.
No,
Jessica Jones gave us that because she, spoiler alert, killed her nemesis. So yeah, this will be fantastic. What if anything have we heard about the storyline of Iron Fist?
It sounds like it's going to be very much like an Arrow type story, where rich young boy dropped into this mystical land. He's basically taught the mystic arts. He's found to be the Iron Fist, which apparently is a internal power, ability to bend mystical arts with the Iron Fist, and he comes back. So it sounds like a lot like Arrow if you think about it. Oliver Queen on an island comes back, kind of Shaggy, comes back to his hometown and tries to do good. That's what I'm thinking.
Did you say kind of like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo?
Yes, he had a goatee, hung out with a dog, and they smoked a lot of pot and drank a lot of, or ate a lot of food.
Oh, I was going to drank a lot of Drano. Is that why they always saw the ghosts?
Yes, exactly. They were huffing paint.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Terrible stuff. All right, well, next up, now talk about a speculation fest, and I think this photo really locks it down. Peter Dinklage of Game of Thrones fame, of course, and of the last good X-Men movie that we all enjoyed, Days of Future Past, is joining the MCU in what is promised to be a packed cast of Avengers Infinity War. I don't even know how they're going to get them all in. I mean, how could they possibly? I mean,
with a shoehorn, Charlie, a big shoehorn. Yeah.
And this is a movie that is no longer split into 2 halves, which or at least I thought that this was something I thought I had heard pretty definitively.
Correct.
In the
it's not going to be part 1, part 2, but potentially you could have a continuation of some of the the outcomes.
Sure, but I mean, it's not going to be like, here's the 60 characters that it could be in Infinity War parts 1 and 2. It's going to be, here's the 60 characters that are in this 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, it could be a mess. I mean, it could.
It really could be. It could be Marvel's first stumble on the big screen.
Yeah, because I mean, you haven't even talked about the TV universe getting involved.
Right.
And then you do that, and it's like, what is it going to be? Every character gets to go, hi, or punch, witty, saying, and then zoom away,
punch, witticism. So anyway, 5 characters he could play. What is it? Pip. I was looking at this guy, and I was like, Pan the Troll, Pip the Troll.
That's right.
Which would be a Thanos character. That seems to be. I don't know if he's got these ranked in order of likeliness, but being that Thanos is the villain, that seems highly likely. Todd, this was your guess a little earlier this week. M.O.D.O.K.
That would be so awesome.
Machine only designed. Okie What is that? Oh,
mental organism designed only for killing.
Oh, there we go. I knew only for killing rounded it out, but Star Fox, who is an Avenger, think he's a little too short, and he's also Thanos' brother. I was
he is like the god of love.
Yes,
Eros.
He's Eros. So yeah, he was a core Avengers character in the '80s Roger Stern run. Where he was when it came right down to it, he could use his pheromones to chill out the ladies, which seems super rapey, which is why it pretty much belongs back in the 80s.
He's like the Ron Burgundy with Sex Panther.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Brian Fontana.
Brian Fontana. The Watcher, who is Utao.
I like that.
He lives on the dark side of the moon with Pink Floyd, clearly, in the wall that our president is going to have them build. Bazing. And it's his destiny to simply watch over events, but not to interfere with them. He was the narrator of one of my favorite series of all time that Marvel ever did, their core Elseworlds concept, which was called What If. The classic 1970s and 80s series, particularly the early issues, he was the buffer. He was the donut, as we say in radio. He was at the beginning and the end, introducing the tale and then taking it out. And then this one, I'm hoping not so much, because we were just talking about Sigourney Weaver taking on this role. Mephisto, the devil. And again, are they going to put some stilts on him? Because all but one of these roles is really not for a short person.
No, but they could do the CG. They could basically give him the voice, and he could do like the motion capture for the face.
Ping pong balls.
Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, I hate to say, make him another little guy, like either Puck or Pip. Shortness has to be a part of the character. I mean, look what they did with Bolivar Trask when he played him.
Right. Well, they just broke it down. My personal vote would be for one of the first two. I don't know about you. M.O.D.O.K would be an awesome choice. Great Stanley Jack Kirby villain from the 60s, as illustrated in this picture in this article right here. And I got to get back on my ass and start posting these links when we talk. So crack on me, Todd. I'm gonna put it back. I'm gonna put that on you to put back on me to post these links. But this is a great Jack Kirby picture. In it, you see M.O.D.O.K. You see what I'm guessing is Sharon Carter, who was Agent 13, Emily Van Camp from the films, with Cap in a fight scene. So that's going to be that's what I think would be the best choice. How about you?
Yeah, I think what they're going to need to have in the next Avengers movie is, I don't want it to be big Thanos and a bunch of minions. We've done that already when we had my favorite villains, the Chitauri, or the endless minions who have no personality, could care less. They could be anything. I'd rather have him assemble like his team. Why not? So have M.O.D.O.K.
You mean like Apocalypse did?
Kind of, yeah, kind of Apocalypse. His team. But I think you need more than just, like I said, one big dude and then a bunch of minions. I think it's kind of cool to do that. So potentially, I think we could see, Thanos, Loki, truly have a threat that could meet on multiple ends, and shows more than just what we've seen previously, which has been typically one villain. And I know that's sometimes a recipe for disaster, but quite honestly, you're going to have 85 heroes, and I think they need unique villains that are charming, witty, and
Right.
imposing. So we'll see. But yeah, I think M.O.D.O.K could be cool. But I do like the idea of the Watcher a lot because it allows him to be kind of a narrator. Almost, if the Avengers wants to do something different, take a different story approach and have more like the Watcher recounting what occurred.
The donut, like the donut approach, like I was just talking about, like in What If.
Yeah, exactly.
It was this. I mean, he'd always come in and he would say, "You'll remember in your history, Spider-Man did A, B, and C, and then Gwen Stacy died. But what would happen if Spider-Man did A, D, and F, and then Gwen Stacy lived?" And it was a story. And then he comes in the end and says, "Wow, that's a real bummer. But there are many things possible in the multiverse. Blah blah blah. Good night." He was like Rod Serling.
Yeah, I think it could be very cool, a unique way to tell the story. It could also say, we could start the movie with all of, kind of like in the Infinity Gauntlet. You remember some of those covers where all the heroes are dead,
right?
And it kind of shows you like, well, this is if this did not occur, this was the outcome, and it could then say different things, and they could play with, if this happened, and then he gets involved because that's what the Watcher does. He's a liar. He does get involved.
Right. He is. What a fibber. He's the Watcher my ass. Watch this.
Exactly.
Watch this.
So we're excited for Avengers and see what they do next. It'll be really cool. I think that's an opportunity for them to do something unique and different. And it'll be the first non-Joss Whedon Avengers film. So it'll be interesting as well. So next we get into games. Charlie, I've been posting more on the site about the Nintendo Switch. Thursday night at 10 o'clock Eastern, we got the full reveal. It was from Japan. They had
the full Monty.
The full Monty. It was translated, so you had translators speaking over the Japanese businessmen, and it was such a very odd event, Charlie. It was, when you have a live event, you want the audience to interact with you.
Yeah, I know. I work in radio, so I know how a bad live event goes. Trust me.
Well, this was the exact opposite. I mean, I totally understand that the Japanese culture is different and that they are reserved, and this was mostly for businessmen. But every time these creators would get up and try to add some energy or anything, there was no response from the crowd. You could hear a pin drop, and it just made everything just seem so bizarre and surreal that it was a really strange event. But that wasn't the point. The point was to tell all about the Nintendo Switch. Charlie, I know you're not huge into video games, but you do own at least one console, Nintendo console.
Two.
Your kids? Two.
Yeah, the Wii.
Your kids
we have the old Wii. I'm using it right now, actually.
Yep, and your kids own the Wii U. We own the Wii U. We own the 3DS. But the concept with the Switch is it truly is a TV console, but the cool part is, versus the Wii U, you could take that console out of its dock, put in these two Joy-Cons, which are kind of like the Wiimotes, and you can take that thing and go anywhere, versus the Wii U, where you could only take the controller about 10 feet away from the Wii U, and after that point, you're done. You can't take it anywhere. You can't go to the bathroom and poop and play. Poop and play. Yeah.
Poop and play.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get this straight, because I didn't watch any of this, so I will be the layman for our audience. This console sits in a dock, which then interfaces with the TV.
Correct. Like you would almost think of like an iPad. You'd then put into a dock.
Right.
Yep.
And then I pull it out, and I'm like, I got to go take a dump. You just said it. I put it in my little cradle, and I go and sit on the can, and I'm still playing Mario Brothers.
Correct. You just put the little two.
Look at that! I figured it out.
Yeah, you put the two little Joy-Cons on the side. They snap in, and you just take it wherever you go.
Okay, that sounds tremendous. But I think when you talked about it before, you said the battery life was not really up to snuff.
The battery life is probably between 3 and 6 hours.
Not so bad.
Not so bad.
And it's rechargeable, because if you're putting double A's in there each time, that would be a shit show to end all shit shows.
Correct. It's basically charging with a USB-C cable, so that's what most modern cell phones use, Lightning or USB-C. So it's got that. It'll have 32 gigabytes of onboard storage. Has Wi-Fi, has Bluetooth. It'll work with the Amiibo, and let's see, what else am I forgetting about this? It's $300. But it comes with everything you need. Does not come in with a game, though. This is the first time there's no game included.
Oh,
So that's a
it's
bummer.
bummer.
But I'm hoping they'll add demos pre-installed on the system so you have something to try out, because they did introduce some really cool new games that are kind of more family-friendly, trying to repeat what the Wii did. So, and the cool part that we didn't really know about, these little Joy-Cons, Charlie, they're like the Wiimotes. They have almost like 3 rumble sensors in them. So they kind of try to just explain to this. It's like putting ice cubes in a glass. So the first one goes in, you feel rumble down by your pinky. Next one goes in, you feel rumble by your middle finger, and then so it's almost like stacking. So it's got more rumble. That's they call it HD rumble.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's got a sensor that can also, when you point it, it can tell how far away objects are. So which is kind of cool. So it kind of feels like if you're close or far away. It'll act just like the Wii did. So your Wiimotes, you'll be doing motion control as well. So it's kind of bringing those things together, but it also allows you to take it on the go. So you could take the console on the road. It's even got a little kickstand. So you can put the kickstand, you can put the Switch tablet on your table, put the kickstand on, take out the Joy-Cons, and just play it on the table. And if somebody else brings their Switch over, you can play together through the systems in Wi-Fi, which is kind of cool.
That actually sounds pretty neat.
Yeah, it's neat, and I think the price point is about what it was supposed to be. It's going to be almost a 7-inch screen. It's HD. It's got a touch screen as well, so it's doing a lot of cool new things. It's going to use cartridges, which is kind of a change, but they're high storage cartridges, and it'll also use SD for storage. So if you want to get a 256 gigabyte storage card, you put that in there, and you can take your games to go.
But it actually sounds like, yeah, and again, I'm no expert, but I've certainly listened to you talk about this, that Nintendo, that the Wii U was a flop, that the sales were really disappointing. So obviously they need a big win. And this has enough sameness, but enough differentness, if I use a word, that it could be a breakout. So that's cool. It's not, and $300 sounds pretty approachable. I mean, most consoles are $350, $400, are they not? If you get a big bundle.
Yeah, I mean, typically you can get a PS4 for about $300 right now. The Xbox One, you can get those for about $250. So they are launching, but I mean, they are doing something different. So it's not exactly the same thing. The cool part was that they did reveal that this will have an online service, which will be more like Xbox Live and things like that, so it'll be good. Okay. Apparently, it's going to have really cool parental controls, Charlie, so if you, it'll be an app on your phone, so if your kids are playing too long, you can actually use your app to say, you've got an hour left, and if they don't listen to you even after that, they'll get shown on screen, hey, you've got an hour left. You can actually suspend the system from your app.
I need that. I need to do that with the Wi-Fi just to the basement. If I want, time for you to go to bed, boy. Boop.
Yep, exactly. So it's gonna be a really cool way to help your kids understand what they're playing and also who they're talking with. So we'll have chat for the first time, which is cool because it's fun to talk to your friends. Logan's actually getting to that now with the PS4 and his buddies. They'll talk to each other while they play, so that's kind of fun. But the cooler part was the games that they announced. So obviously Zelda this is coming out March 3rd. Zelda is a launch title March 3rd. And they showed the new Mario, Charlie. It looks fantastic. It's fun.
Yeah. Cool.
Your kids will eat it up. It's going to be so much fun. Very excited about that. The big gimmick is that it's really taking place in a big hub world. Kind of think of like Lego Dimensions. You have like your big hub world, and then it's got side stories and side planets and worlds that you can go to and do more things there. But you're actually using your hat for the first time as kind of like a think about it as like a projectile. Mm-hmm. But you can also throw it, and then you can jump on it and then jump higher. So it's adding some new things. And the other game I know I wanted to tell you about was the Lego Underground game.
Oh, really? And
yes.
When we say Underground, is this like Lego After Dark? Is it a gritty reboot of the Lego game world?
Yeah, there's actually a trailer I think you should watch because Lego Underground is probably it's very beloved because for a while it was a Wii U only game, but now it's coming out for Xbox One, PS4, and the Switch. And it's almost, think about it this way, think about like a buddy cop Lego game. Mm-hmm. And it's tongue-in-cheek, plays with a lot of like the Starsky and Hutch, the Miami Vice things. And the first game was a single player only game. There was no co-op, but they've added co-op to this game now. So I think as you look for other Lego games, you like the premise. But from what I understand, they added a ton of really new and original ideas for it. So I think it's worth checking out and playing with your kids. I mean, because I know you need Lego games.
I would love to. I'd have to go out and get the system. But
well, no, you can play it on Xbox One now. It's coming out for Xbox One as well.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, it's being re-released for all of the systems.
Now that I will definitely.
Yeah. So check out Get GameFly again.
Yeah. Oh, it's a very good point.
Yeah. So that is kind of a summary on the Nintendo Switch. There is still pre-orders available on GameStop. I pre-ordered mine on at Best Buy, and so check it out. They said there was only about 2 million released the first month, but the good thing is that's going to satisfy the hardcore, and then I would say for most people, you could wait until the fall because that's when Mario's going to come out, and you'll probably have a bigger library, and there should be a lot more in stock. Hopefully it's not the Nintendo Classic, which to this day, I think only 10 people on the planet have it, including myself.
And you're number 3.
Exactly.
Well, the good news is with 2 million units being shipped, that is one for every person who listens to this podcast. I'm very excited about that.
Yes. I mean, we can have our own gamer group, Secret Friends Unite, switched up.
Yeah. Oh my God! Listen to this. Somebody call our marketing exec, aka Lisa Goodman.
That's right. She'll be on standby. And just to give you a heads up, we will be doing a special Switch podcast, Charlie. So you'll get to listen and hear all of the wonderful things about the Switch.
I may actually do that. It could
Fantastic. Happen. Yeah. Okay. And then last story this week is the Watchmen, who were introduced in comics back in the 80s. We never thought we would see those characters again. But surprise, DC brought them back in, I believe, 2012. They had I think it was called like Watchmen Before or something like that. And they told stories about the characters of Watchmen before Watchmen took place, which I thought was kind of a cool idea because, Watchmen was showing these characters in their decay and, after the heyday. But these Watchmen Before comics were actually telling you stories about these heroes, which I thought was fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But the controversial part with Watchmen now is they were reintroduced with Rebirth as part of the DC proper universe. Rebirth, yes. So that was shown in the Rebirth special kickoff, but nothing's gone back. Well, now they're finally visiting that dangling storyline in Batman and Flash. Batman and Flash both found the Watchmen classic symbol of the smiley face with blood smeared on it.
Right. This I actually read in one of the Rebirth number zeros when I was actually given it a shot a couple of months back. So it sounds familiar.
Yeah. So this has been kind of a dangling storyline. No one really knew how they would revisit this or what they would do with it. And there was thought that the actual Watchmen were kind of the call it the evil engineers of some of the things that happened, like New 52, and kind of playing with the puzzle pieces. Okay. So I'm really interested to see what they do. So quite honestly, the storyline will actually take place between the Batman and Flash books, which is good. It's not going to be a standalone, or it's not going to be a spin-off or a crossover, Charlie.
Ooh, oh boy, could it be a 7-part crossover that becomes a 9-part crossover that takes a year to tell?
No, it's going to be.
Everybody needs one of those.
It'll be issues 21 and 22 of both characters' ongoing titles, but they will make it a little bit special with having lenticular covers. So,
talk about what's old is new. That's an old 90s trick right there.
Yeah, remember those old classic covers where people are like, it was printed in the blood of, a virgin and things like that. Or
Doyle. Basically any comic reader, blood of a virgin.
Foil cut. They had the one, I think it was the Punisher book that had actually like a bullet hole through it or something.
Right. Well, Spider-Man had, I remember one when Peter Parker was in jail that the die cut cover was bars.
Oh.
So like the edge of it was regular cardboard, and then the middle of it was Bart. Oh, Peter Parker, the trial of Peter Parker, part 3, and he's in jail. Yeah, so yay.
Yeah.
Yay, it gave him an excuse to charge an extra $1 for the issue.
Oh, those are the good old days, huh?
Yeah, right. Good.
Yeah.
And of course, the paper stock was shit, and the art was really dubious.
Yay!
And the writing was pretty crappy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember when they were just converting over from newsprint to the more, I guess you'd call it slick pages. Some of those early slick pages.
Glossy stock.
Yeah, they would actually stick together. Like it wasn't right yet. So you try to open your page and like, why is this stuck together?
I swear to God, I haven't been beating it. Why is this stuck together? Oh, Wonder Woman.
Oh boy. So that I believe that storyline will be an interesting look at how the DC universe changed and how Rebirth has kind of really gave new life to the DC universe. So very excited for that to come out.
No doubt about it. Well, Todd, that's all the news we got.
Yeah. So I think we covered a lot of cool stories, and very excited to see how they all turn out. But it's the morning. But the Geek Easy is opening its door to us. It's got some really fantastic yacht rock playing. And we're gonna get ready to get our nerd on in the Geek Easy.
At least we can get in for some mimosas with Dan Fogelberg's Ghost.
This is Yacht Rock. Smooth rock classics from the 70s and 80s. Yacht Rock. Album out now.
We're sitting in the Geek Easy. Dan Fogelberg actually has appeared in person and doing a private performance for us, Charlie.
Oh my God. Was he resurrected in the clone conspiracy?
He was. Well, he was back in the back of the Geek Easy washing dishes, so he had a break and came out and joined us.
So basically he was like Elvis. He faked his death and he's hiding out.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. Holy cow. Well, I guess I am up first. I have not been doing anything radically exciting this week. I did over... God, it was it was New Year's Day, and I will not lie, Charlie was wicked hungover, but GameStop was open and they had a copy of the old Lego Star Wars: The Clone Wars game at the local GameStop, which is 10 minutes from my house. So I put on my tennis shoes. I was still practically wearing my jammies, and I went and stood in line with a bunch of other really smelly people, and I picked this game up. Now this is a game I played it for the first time and beat it when it was on Xbox 360, which was my previous system, the Xbox One that we have now. And when my daughter moved out on her own, she took that with her, so that's how she watches Netflix and everything, blah blah blah. But this game is not backwards compatible like some of the other Lego games on Xbox are. So I was bummed out about that. I was grousing until I was walking in Meijer one day, and I walked past the Wii aisle, and I said, I still own a Wii. I said I should find this game. I have a $5 off voucher, so I get it for like $9, and took it home and started playing it. And I realized, Todd, I let you know right away, going from the high def of a next-gen system like the Xbox or the PlayStation back to something like the Wii makes you want to throw up. The picture is so bad. It's like going back and watching TV shows from the 50s. It was really low def, and it distracted me the first time I was doing it. So it took me a little while. Plus, I couldn't remember how to use the Wii controller, the widget, the wand, or the nunchuck. Mm-hmm. I couldn't remember how to do it. So it took me a little getting used to, but I finally started to get into it. And remembering that this is one of the best games of the Lego series. It was the first one where they incorporated multi-location hubs. You've got 2 ships. You've got the Republic ship. You've got the Separatist ship. You fly between them, and you walk around, and you have to bump into characters in order to purchase them. So I got to bump into, Admiral so-and-so or the clone pilot, or, and sometimes if it's a villain, you got to punch him a couple times, and then
Hello.
and then they'll be like, all right, you beat me, and then you can acquire them. So, it's been fun. There's different levels of story. There's bounty hunter missions. There's I should say. There's different doors you can't open until you acquire the right number of bricks. So keeps you interested. I like it. I look forward to beating this game again, but again, it's very low. It's very low tech, low res. I would love to play it again if the picture was nicer. I would certainly play it again because, again, right up there with the original Lego Marvel superheroes game, this one is probably my favorite because I like the diversity and the different kinds of stuff that you do. So
yeah,
so
I mean, I remember the
yeah.
troop controls, and they did a lot more of that. Like, they call it real time strategy, but send these guys over there. Yeah, I thought that game had a lot more depth, and I was really disappointed they never went more with that. But I guess maybe people just didn't enjoy that part, or it was too difficult for some people. Maybe.
I mean, you know what? The thing is, I'm so bad at gaming that if I can do it, anybody can do it, in my opinion. So yeah, I think that's kind of lame-o. So
oh, come on, Charlie, you're the Rain Man of Lego games. You know those games so inside and out.
I can do it. I tell you, I there's still some things I can't beat. There's a race in Lego Dimensions and Scooby Doo that you race from the top of the stupid lighthouse around. I'll never beat it as long as I live. It's my great white buffalo. So anyway, so that's been fun, and I'm playing that. I'm about 70% done. So I'm just plugging away at that, and then I'll finish it, and I wouldn't even bother selling it back, because if I bought it for $9, it must be worth $2.
50 cents, most likely.
50 cents, exactly. So, and in the Clone Wars vein, I'm still watching the Clone Wars on Netflix. April hadn't seen it before. We've gotten into some really fun episodes. We watched the episode either yesterday or the day before that introduced Saw Gerrera, who was, of course, in Rogue One.
Saul Gerrera.
Saw, S-A-W.
I know. I just think when I heard I'm like, Saul?
Better Call Saw Gerrera. Oh, my. I just created a Star Wars spinoff.
That's
Better
right.
Call Saw.
He's a lawyer in his spare time.
In his spare time, exactly. So pretty interesting. There was also a few episodes that we've watched recently that I didn't remember. There was one with younglings finding their kyber crystal, and it was a two-parter, and on their way back, they're on this Republic cruiser, and there's a droid that helps them build it, and he's going through picking out the parts, and April goes, "What a Harry Potter ripoff this is. This is like the wand store with John Hurt. What was the place?
Oh, it's Diagon Alley. Yeah.
I bet if I turned and yelled out the door, April would say, "It's such and such."
What my question is, did the younglings flash to Anakin, and he got a glimmer in his eye, like, "I'm going to kill you all"?
Yeah. You see him doing this. Hey
kid, come here.
So that's been fun. And as far as and again, this is an old movie, but it's one I'd never seen before. And Todd, I was going back and forth with you about this last night. Netflix has Sweeny Todd right now, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street 2007 movie with Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. Of course, it's directed by Tim Burton, so the three of them go together like fingers in a meat pie. Which is what the movie is about. So, Todd, this is a musical. You have some background with it. You've seen it multiple times.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen it. Actually saw it on I think Netflix first, and then actually saw a production of it locally. It was a small production, and they kind of mixed it up where they treated it was like in modern times. They were almost like the tabloids were investigating these murders. So I liked the way they did that, but it had all the songs. Stephen Sondheim. So with Stephen Sondheim, he does Sunny in the Park with George. His music stylings are really take it or leave it for a lot of people, because it's not very melodic, as you would say, Charlie.
Yeah.
It's very challenging. It's using, I would say, different scales that people don't sing to. It's not Andrew Lloyd Webber. It's definitely grungier and more challenging, I would say.
Well, it was plenty grungy down in that grindhouse, I'll tell you.
Oh yeah.
It took me. This is a 2-hour movie. It took me a while to get into it, because for the first 20 minutes or so, all of the story was told by song. There was no dialogue, which I was like, is this whole thing going to be like this? But they finally broke it down. But yeah, no, it's told in Victorian London. You have this regular old dude with a wife and a kid who a local judge covets this guy's wife. So he fabricates a story about this barber and accuses him of a crime he didn't commit. He gets shipped off to Australia, because that's what the Brits did. That was their prison colony for 20-something years, while the filthy judge, Alan Rickman, the late Alan Rickman, God rest his soul, we just celebrated the first anniversary of his passing, which is... So anyway... The 20 years passes. The judge had moved in on the wife and the daughter and took them in. She became his ward, and this very creepy, when she grows up, she's going to be my wife kind of thing, which is where the movie, that's where the movie went. So it's like, ugh. But anyway, Benjamin Banneker or something or other was the barber's name. He comes back, assumes a new identity of Sweeny Todd, the barber, hooks up with Mrs. Lovett, who owns a pie shop. He sets up his barbershop upstairs, and the two of them eventually figure out that, well, the barber wants to kill people by slashing their throats. She's running a little low on stock to put in her
Meat's
meat
expensive.
pies. Meat's expensive. So what they decide to do is when the when the barber slashes the throat, he steps on a lever. His barber chair flips upside over, dumps the body into a slot, which lands in the basement, and then she grinds it up and turns it into meat pies.
Woo!
Oh, what a great story! But overall, what Sweeny Todd is after is revenge on the judge, who now his daughter is grown, and the judge has kept her locked up all these years and wants to marry her, which is whack. It's kind of crazy. I would recommend seeing it because I really don't want to say too much more about it for anybody who's not seen it. It's on Netflix, this month at the very least. So go have a peek. It's nutty.
Yeah. Or at least just watch the trailer. I think that'll get the trailer for it is very much what it is. If you don't like the trailer, you probably will not like the movie.
That's a good point. We do get I will tell you that one of the early victims is Borat.
Oh,
sorry for spoiling that.
very nice.
He's very nice. My wife. Blah. So anyway, that's me. So Todd, how about you?
Yeah, for me, Netflix launched a series of unfortunate events, and that dropped on Friday.
Yeah.
And I was a huge fan of the movie with Jim Carrey. I thought they really nailed that tone and got it right, but I just don't know why it didn't take off because I think it is not a happy series, and I think maybe that's the problem. These poor, unfortunate orphans, parents were killed, and in the will, they were told to stay with their most closest relative, which is this villainous Count Olaf, and he just looks like a villain. In the original movie, it was played by Jim Carrey, and in this, it's played by Neil Patrick Harris. It's cute. It's funny. It's not really cute. It's funny. It's written very clever. It's very cleverly written. Patrick Warburton is, and this is a change. They actually have the narrator, who is Lemony Snicket, who wrote the book. He's playing the narrator as well, and it's Patrick Warburton doing that. And he kind of takes you along the way. It's done really well. The imagery is fantastic. Apparently, the first 13 episodes, which are season 1, is through the first 4 books. So most likely they will do 3 series, complete the whole series of books, because in the movies, I believe the movie was the first 3 books. So,
gotcha.
I thought they did a fantastic job. It was funny. Neil Patrick Harris, man, great role. The kids are awesome, well acted. Joan Cusack is one of the characters. She's pretty good as well. But I think it's well worth watching. They're 44-minute episodes, 13 episodes already released. So I think if you're curious, just watch the first episode. I think you'll enjoy it. Just like I said, it's they captured the tone exactly the way it should be. So enjoyed that.
Nice.
Yeah. And then something I got back into, I know a lot of us were not excited about when Batman Rebirth took off. You had Scott Snyder jumping off the Batman comic. And Greg Bull. They all jumped off and they went to All-Star Batman, which I haven't read yet. I'm going to read that when it gets cheaper on Comixology. Because those books were like $5 each. It was ridiculous. Very expensive. More of a premium format book once a month. But that's supposed to be a fantastic read. But with the Batman series, I don't know if you remember, did you ever read any of those that John bought?
I think I read the first one.
If you remember, it was like the couple, it was like they were called Gotham. They were like superheroes.
Yes, yeah, where he was saving the plane from crashing and then they show up and that's just like, yeah, I just realized I was just further reinforced that DC is that this was not going to be for me. You know, I was absolutely wild about the new 52 Batman and the Court of Owls, and I absolutely adored it. But I kind of petered. I was even collecting it monthly for a while. I was picking it up at the store, but it just kind of fell off for me.
Well, luckily for me, my library still gets single issues, and so I've been reading the new this new Batman series, Superman and Wonder Woman. They get those comics, which is fantastic because it gives me the ability just to check them out, and I don't have to pay. So I thought, well, I didn't really love that first Batman, but I'm going to come and check it back out. It's gotten excellent. It's really good.
Good.
Those characters, what the take they do on them is really. It's really neat. I really liked what they did with it, and they wrapped up that storyline. But then they brought in, and this book, a lot of the core of this book is all about, and the way what they're doing with Batman the Rebirth is basically they're giving him a new team. Basically, they're training along with Batwoman. Would be Damian Wayne is Robin, Spoiler, who's kind of like the female Robin. There's also Orphan, who was a Batgirl, who is kind of like, she was an assassin, but became Batgirl for a time, but now she's called Orphan. And also Clayface, which it's funny that they're he's trying to redeem himself. So it's almost like the Sandman, where he tried to redeem himself, Clayface the same way. So they're being trained by Batwoman to become a team. So now Batman has a new team, which is great. And I think they made this Batman a little bit more, I don't know. I like the tone they've done with him versus being the loner. I think he's trying to embrace a team again, which is cool, even after Tim Drake died. So that was one of the outcomes, too, that Tim Drake passed away, which is very sad. He became Red Robin, which was kind of almost like the new Nightwing type of character as well. Nightwing gets involved as well. So very cool. But what they've done is now they are taking on what they call, I think it's called Night of the Monsters or something like that. Basically, Hugo Strange, who is a evil scientist guy. He was basically a psychiatrist in Arkham, and that's where he came about.
We see that very heavily in the Gotham TV series.
Yeah. So he made a deal. He made a deal with Bane, got Venom. The Venom, the stuff that basically gave Bane his powers and abilities, and he swapped out someone that Bane wanted for the Venom, and now Hugo Strange is experimenting on people with the Venom and turning into these monster men. So it's kind of neat to see Batman take on almost like Godzilla and monsters with his team. But I'm really enjoying it. I thought the way they've handled it, it's fun, it's neat. It's really turned around for me, so I'm really enjoying that. So if you're interested in Batman, a different take than we've seen the last couple of years, this is not necessarily a lighter Batman, but it's a Batman that's embracing more of the team effort, whereas when we saw him in the Scott Snyder book, he wanted nothing to do with the team. He's like, I can't let anybody else die, so you need to all, stay in the back. I'm doing this on my own. So, yeah, I like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good
really
deal.
cool.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I will, if you love it so much, maybe I will seek out a trade. We do have at one of our libraries in our system has single issues, but for me, it's on the other side of town.
Yeah.
So I'm there rather infrequently. So it's it's harder to keep up. So,
sure.
But that's good to know. Good to know that Batman has bounced back. Well, I think Mr. Fogelberg is going to play us out here because I think that's a wrap on the Geek Easy.
It is. It is, definitely. So goodbye to the Geek Easy and hello to some Geek Love.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome when we live in our dream.
So Geek Love is a new segment. We're sharing some love from folks in the community or things we love that other people are doing. So this week I'm giving a little bit of geek love to Daniel Davis. He is in our Secret Friends Facebook group, and he has started up a new gaming and pop culture website called Supernova Games and Entertainment. And he is doing a lot of interesting articles, news stories, and editorials on gaming, pop culture, etc. He is doing reviews as well. And this week he did a review of the new Netflix series, A Series of Unfortunate Events. I'm a big fan of the show, but if you want to get more in depth, definitely recommend checking out Supernova Games Entertainment. Definitely follow Dan as well on Twitter. He is at Games Supernova on Twitter. You can also interact with Dan in the Facebook group as well for Secret Friends Unite. Dan's a good guy. Check out Supernova Games Entertainment. And if anybody else wants to shout out to us and give us something that you're geeking out about that somebody's doing, or you're doing something cool that you want us to share, let us know. And with that, Charlie, how could they find us?
How do people reach us? Oh my God! Fortunately, I have the answer. As always, we are a byproduct, a sidekick, a clone army of the Secret Friends Facebook community and podcast page. Very easy to find us there. Simply type Secret Friends Unite in your search bar on Facebook, and you will find us. Ask to be added, and provided you're not some kind of creepy weirdo who's trying to sell us sunglasses from India, or even if you are, that's okay. Ask, and you will be admitted to our group and to join in the fun discussion. We also have a podcast page where I, when I remember to, post links that we talk about here. I'm really not very good at that, but you know what? New year, new me. I'm going to give it a shot. We are also over on Twitter at Secret Friends U. Hit us a tweet, a twingle. We'll twingle you back. We'll have fun in the twingle sphere. Todd, that's it, man. That's how people find us. Thanks for listening. We love you. I'm going to tell you, as always, that sharing is caring, and to keep on trucking.
Be the hero, not the villain.
In the truck.
Karen, she's got that nice pink sweater. Her name is Karen. I think she probably lived alone. We're talking Karen. Say what you want, she got the switch though. It's all about Karen. That haircut straight from 92. You know it's Karen. Don't take that console to the party. Oh, lovely Karen. Your friend thinks you are such a tool. Don't do it, Karen. We know that Mario's got co-op now, but Karen, we're drinking, having conversations now. So Karen, I'm happy you've become a meme, cause baby Karen, it feels like having friends is what you need. Now Karen, your apartment's pretty chill, I guess that Karen, that Nintendo money is paying. I'm saying Karen, are you an antisocial shut-in, or Karen, are you a middle-aged darling? Why Karen, could I ask you one last quote, please Karen?